How have some of these Sharks prospects started their seasons? We're going to look at the 2023 draft, 2022 draft class, and then the basically whoever's left over that's not in San Jose. So all that and more on today's episode.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube as well, or do both. Both is great. I know the Sharks play the Canucks tonight at 7:30, and the Sharks are looking for their first win. You can catch every second of the Sharks' hometown broadcast with the Sirius XM on the SXM app. Search Sharks. But we're going to be digging into how the prospects are looking because you and I both know it's been a tough start for the Sharks. So we're going to dig into how, like I said, basically anybody who's not in San Jose are kind of going to how their seasons have started so far this year. So before we get into Will Smith and the 2023 draft class, I do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you guys by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 and bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. So, like I said, we're going to start with the 2023 draft class. And of course, we have to start with the fourth overall draft pick in Will Smith, and how his season has started so far in Boston College. And I've probably watched about three of Will Smith's games this season, trying to make sure this year I'm watching as many of the prospect games as I can kind of fit in. And, of course, going to prioritize bigger names like one Will Smith. So Will Smith this season has started in his 6 games. He has 4 goals, 4 assists with 17 shots on goal. He is currently third among NCAA freshmen in scoring. Macklin Celebrini, hopefully future Shark, is leading the way. But with Smith so far, what I've seen is he's contributing offensively, but he's not kind of maybe driving play as much as you would like. But you have to remember, right? He is a 18-year-old freshman playing NCAA hockey for the first time. So, there's kind of that maybe he's not kind of driving the play as much as you like, but he's still producing, which is good. So you're hoping that once he kind of gets a little bit more, his feet under him a little bit more, is able to kind of establish his game a little bit more, that the production will continue to grow so far this season. But I think you have to be so far so good with Will Smith. And I think he's also had a lot of missed opportunities. Usually every game I watch, he's on a breakaway or has an opportunity to score, and he just hasn't been able to convert some of those. So again, we'll see. As the big question is, can he play in his own zone? And I've seen he's played pretty solidly in his own zone, but I think it's a really, really positive start for Will Smith. Again, he is third among freshmen in scoring, and I don't think he's really kind of established his game yet. So once the season as he kind of gets into the groove and continues to add some more weight and muscle, you have to feel pretty good about where Will Smith's game is going. So next, of course, is one Quentin Musty, who the Sharks picked in the first round, thanks to the Timo Meier pick. And these numbers are before his game on Wednesday night. So throw another goal and an assist on there as well. In 7 games, he's got 3 goals, 7 assists, and 27 shots. And Musty is playing on a super awesome line with one Dalibor Dvorsky, who was a top pick in this last draft. And Musty, so I watched a couple games of Musty, and you can tell just how dominant physically he can be. The game tonight wasn't his best game. It felt like he was a little bit off on times, just maybe kind of cheating off the defensive zone a little bit, or just not connecting on pat. Like, it's just one of those games where, it's just not your best game. But what makes him so special is in the clutch, he scores in overtime, and this is his second game-winning overtime goal he's had this year, because he's a special player. And even when the game's not going his right, he can still step up in big-time minutes. And so I expect Musty to continue to just fill out the stat sheet this season as he plays with some top-quality talent on that first line. So, again, feeling good about Musty right now. So, next, Kasper Halttunen, who is absolutely dominating in the London with the London Knights. So he, in 12 games, has 9 goals and 2 assists with 27 shots on goal. He has been just cashing in on goals, and that's what you would expect, right? Especially after playing in the OH, or playing against men last year in Finland in the Liga, and then coming and playing against a lesser competition against kids his age, right? And I think the OHL game suits him with how kind of quick it is and the speed. He's picking up from what I've couple games I watched of him, definitely picking up with the speed and the pace of the game. He's had some beautiful goals, just like absolute like toe drag curl, just destroying goalies right now, and he's on pace for 50 goals. And the way he's shooting the puck right now, I don't see why Kasper Halttunen can't be a 50 goal scorer in the OHL. And then it's just, can you continue to round out the rest of your game? So London's an absolute wagon, and he's probably gonna be a top contributor for London this year. But so far so good with him with his early season. I think the big thing for him is, how do you continue to grow and develop your game? And I think London is very good at developing their players, so I'm not worried about that aspect of it. So next, Brendan Svoboda. I have not gotten a chance to watch any Youngstown games this year, unfortunately. I know he's been injured and has missed the last couple games, but so far this year he's got 9 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, and 17 shots on goal as well. So I know he's been playing kind of mostly third line minutes still. So you're hopefully, when he gets back from his injury, can continue to rise up kind of the depth chart and play some more top 6 minutes. But again, the production is there, especially for playing those bottom 6 minutes right now. So hopefully he gets his injury isn't too long term and he's able to come back here soon. So Luca Cagnoni. I've watched a couple Portland games this year. Those guys are an absolute wagon, and he is a big reason why. So in his 10 games, they have 2 goals, 13 assists, 47 shots on goal. I did double check that, but yes, 47 shots on goal for Luca Cagnoni. He has been playing kind of top minutes for Portland, and he's been playing all situations, and he's doing exactly what you want to do, which is dominate on an awesome team and be the reason why your team is good, not just kind of not riding coattails. He is definitely a driver of play so far on why this Portland team is very, very good. So just keep doing what you're doing, Luca. I cannot wait for you to continue to your development. So next, Axel Landon. I have not gotten a chance to watch I haven't gotten a chance to watch any HV71 games, unfortunately. He is good, but the good thing for him, he is playing in the SHL. Remember, he is 18-year-old defenseman. He just signed a contract extension as of today that'll keep him in the SHL through the 24-25 season, which is perfectly fine, right? We know he's not coming over to play anytime soon, so let him just kind of go up there, stay over there, and continue to rape him. He's played 14 games, no points so far, does have 6 shots on goal, and he's been playing kind of about under 10 minutes a game. But again, he's getting a chance to play against men, and he's a 5th round pick for the Sharks. So just keep him over there, keep him on the back burner, let him continue to do what he's doing right now. So Eric Polkamp over at Bemidji State this year. I haven't watched any of his college games. I did watch like some of the when he, like the Team USA stuff, and we way back we kind of did a podcast on him over the summer, but haven't got a chance to watch Bemidji State. But 6 games in, does have a goal and 2 assists with 24 shots on goal. We know how, if you go back to his draft profile, he does like to, he's a physical defenseman who can also add some scoring touch and production. So he's starting his first year. Seems like things are going up pretty well to start with him. So continue that, Eric. David Klee playing another season in the USHL. Haven't got to watch much USHL this year. 12 games, 2 assists, 2 goals, 5 assists, 25 shots on goal. For him, again, as a overager in the USHL, this should be a year where he continues to kind of dominate before he heads off to college. So, and then finally from the 2023 draft, Igor Rimashevsky, he's playing in the KHL, which is good to see, especially as a 7th round pick. We know his offense, if you remember his draft profile, I think it was, you've never seen a guy who loves to cheat for offense more than him, which is awesome to me. But 13 games, 3 assists and 8 shots on goal. And he hasn't been playing too much in the KHL. I think he's, probably around that 7 to 8 minute mark, but he has been contributing with 3 assists so far. So good for him to kind of get some more time in the KHL and continue his development. So we'll continue with the 2022 draft class here in just 1 second. But first, I want to tell you guys about our good friends over at Sleeper. A new NHL season brings all sorts of possibilities. Tomas Hertl could score 50 goals. Maybe the Sharks will score 50 goals as a team this year. The Sharks could definitely not. Maybe they can win the Stanley Cup, or not the Stanley Cup, but maybe they can win the first pick in the draft. And you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app on the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is the #1 choice for daily fantasy sports, and especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. All you got to do is just pick. Either you can pick awesome, amazing superstars, or you can pick players on your team. So maybe you want to pick like Capo Kakinen on plus saves, would be something I would lean towards, or because the Sharks hemorrhage shots. So all you got to do is pick whatever player you want, and they'll record more or less in the Sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus, minus, and more in a given game. Again, just pick the Sharks goalies on saves, and you'll probably feel good. To win a 100 times bet on Sleeper, you need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Sharks fans. You can win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and location availability. All right, so we're going to continue with the 2022 draft class. So this was Mike Greer's first draft class, as he was, of course, hired like 20 minutes before the actual draft. So we got to start with one Filip Bystedt, who the Sharks, of course, picked at the end of the first round after trading back from Arizona. Bystedt, I've watched a few of the Linkoping games. Those are usually the games I try to catch with the SHO, because the Sharks have 2 players there, so it's a 2-for-1. But Bystedt, 15 games, 4 goals, 2 assists, 26 shots on goal. What I've seen from him is he's been very up and down, kind of very lazy, I would say, at a time. Again, I think I've seen maybe 3 or 4 games as a small sample size, but this is just what I've seen from watching him. A little bit kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but like a little lackluster in his own zone, maybe getting back, maybe kind of playing, you'd like him to play a little bit harder defense, especially if he's going to be a center. And I still project him to be a center for the Sharks, but you'd want to see him play a little bit harder, at least, especially in his own zone defensively. But you're starting to see the production start to tick up here a bit for him. So hopefully now that he's getting a little bit more into the rhythm of the season. I think they started him at the 1 seed, moved him down to 2 seed. And I think that's probably the better spot for him right now, is playing that 2C spot. And then maybe as the season goes on, maybe try giving him another shot at the first 1C. So Cam Lund, who the Sharks picked in the second round, watched one of his games today. I watched actually his last game when they played Merrimack, who was both teams were ranked. He's got 4 games. He's got a goal, 5 assists with 17 shots on goal. Lund, I came away really impressed with his game. I thought he was very active, especially as a transition guy, getting the puck out of the zone and then shooting, having really high quality shots. The production, he's got 6 points in 4 games, which is outstanding right now, and I think you're going to see him continue to produce because Cam Lund, he is a very important part to this Northeastern team, and he's playing kind of up on the point on the power play with the defenseman, helping to kind of distribute the puck and take shots there. And again, especially like on the forecheck and his ability to get the puck into the zone and keep the puck, it's huge. Again, this is anecdotal, but it felt like 75% of the time he tried to get the puck into the carry the puck into the zone. He succeeded in doing it. Again, it was just one game, but against another ranked opponent, I was really impressed with Lund's game that game. So good things to see there. And if he can start to hit the back of the net a little bit more, the Sharks might have really found something with Lund. So next is Matthias Havlat, who in 15 games this year has 0 goals, but 6 assists with 22 shots on goal. I've been pretty impressed with Havlat so far, and he's been kind of rising up the depth chart for Linkoping. I think he was kind of a third pair, and he's been kind of working his way up. Really see it in the offensive zone, his ability to create offense in the offensive zone, make it sustained offense. You see him on the power play. So I think still needs to kind of work on in his own zone a little bit, but that's, again, from the limited viewings I've seen, though I pretty impressed with Havlat and where his game is headed right now. So Michael Fisher. So I did watch the Northeastern game today. Little up and down with him. We know he is a very, very raw prospect. Like, he is one who you're going to expect him to be there all 4 seasons and then probably play some time in the AHL. He is a very, very raw prospect, but you can see the flashes. They don't really give him much opportunity offensively right now. Like, his partner usually does most of the work with kind of carrying the puck and kind of being the initiator of offense. But you do see some of the flashes. You can see he's a willing defender and he's trying hard in his own zone. I think some of the positioning's still a little bit off, but again, very raw prospect who's continuing to kind of work on things. Does have a goal on 1 shot in his 4 games this season. So, and remember, he's a freshman. This is his first season playing in the NCAA, and he's played 4 games. So, but you can see the pieces are potentially there for him. Mason Beaupit. Oof. He's playing in the BCHL and Langley, and he's played 1 game with them. So he's playing with the last year with the Winnipeg Ice. They moved to Wenatchee, I think, and they kind of just dissolved the contract. I think it was a parting of the ways. And Beaupit's played 1 game. He has an 808 save percentage with 513 goals allowed and 21 saves he gave up 5 goals on 26 shots. So the Sharks have a decision to make with Beaupit at the next summer, if they want to sign him, or like we saw with Ben Gaudreau, kind of let his rights go. And I honestly don't see how the Sharks sign him, especially if you're playing in the BCHL, which is usually kind of a stepping stone league towards the NCAA, right? Eli Barnett, who we'll talk about later, played there and before heading to University of Vermont. It's just been a tough go since he got drafted from Mason Beaupit, which is really kind of a shame because I really liked. He seemed like a great kid, put up quality numbers before getting drafted, but something is not clicking now. And like I said, I would at this rate, I don't see how the Sharks would offer him an ELC. So yeah, it's poor Mason Beaupit. So Jake Furlong, the 2022 fifth-round pick with Halifax, the captain of the Halifax Mooseheads this year. 13 games, no goals yet, but does have 9 assists, playing kind of top minutes. I've watched one, I think, Halifax game. He's a big contributor for the Mooseheads, playing top minutes, defensive minutes, playing in all situations. Earned his ELC. I thought he looked good in the times that we got to watch him during the summer. I'm excited about Furlong. I think he is projecting to be a quality kind of 4, 5, 6 defenseman for the Sharks in the future. So yeah, just continue to do what you're doing over there, Jake. And before we continue doing what we're doing, we're going to finish up the end of the 22 draft and kind of look at what everyone else is doing here in just 1 second. If you guys are hiring, you guys need Indeed. When you're drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish you could do the same thing with your business team? If you're building a roster to win the league, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. You don't have to spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills. You can do that all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match. You can do assessments, you can do virtual interviews. And if you hate waiting, because who likes waiting, Indeed's US data shows over 80% of Indeed's employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. So Indeed knows when you're growing your business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire. You need Indeed. And when you guys are done looking for jobs, maybe you want to go check out our friends over at FanDuel, where you can score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers can get $150 back in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. It's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action. The app is super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, overs, unders. Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown against his old team. That's all I'm saying. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. All right, let's finish off the 2022 draft class here with our friend Joey Maldoni, who's been on the podcast. He is playing at the University of Connecticut. Gotten to watch a couple highlights. Haven't gotten a chance to watch a University of Connecticut game, unfortunately. 8 games, does have 2 assists, 12 shots on goal. So you love to see the aggressiveness there from Maldoni. And he seems to be kind of fitting in. I know he's kind of playing those middle 6 minutes right now, and that's, I think, a good spot for him to start again. Remember our good friend Billy Sullivan talking about start playing in the NCAA is like a gauntlet, right? And a lot of these 18-year-old kids or 19-year-old kids, especially as freshmen, they're trying to figure things out right now. So any production you're seeing, especially early on, is a good thing for him. So I think, again, another one of those guys, let him play his 4 years and you kind of figure things out after that. So Eli Barnett, who we mentioned earlier, the 7th round pick, he's playing at University of Vermont. Haven't watched any Vermont games. Sorry, guys. 3 games, got no goals, assists, shots on goals. So good stay-at-home defenseman. So we'll see how his transition goes at the University of Vermont. And then finally from the 2022 draft class, Reese Labach, 7th round pick, of course, from San Jose. 6 games, 2 goals, 0 assists, but 14 shots on goal. Again, kind of playing those middle 6 minutes for Penn State right now. And you love to see the goals and the production at an early stage. So going to try to watch some Penn State game here really soon. He's on the calendar here to watch soon. So so that is the 2022 draft. Overall, I think you're feeling good, especially about Cam Lund. I know Bystedt's had a little bit up and down, but I still feel really good about where Bystedt's development's at, and he will be in San Jose at the end of, as soon as the SHL season's over. I think he will be over here in San Jose playing. So I think you got to feel good about where this draft class is heading and how they're, especially with all the college kids, kind of how they're starting their college season. So, all right, let's go into kind of everybody else. So I didn't want to talk about, if you're in like the San Jose, the Barracuda, or with the Wichita Thunder, like we cover those guys a lot. So I kind of wanted to focus more on the rest of these guys. So Theo Jacobson, the 2021 6th round pick. He got loaned, so he was playing with Modo, and he got loaned to Vesker. Yeah, he got loaned to a different team in the Hockeyallsvenskan, and he's been absolutely lighting it up over there. In 13 games, he's got 3 goals, 6 assists so far with 25 shots on goal. That, again, another one of those like let them simmer type of guys, and see if you have something here soon. So I think his signing rights are the so June 1st, 2025. So the Sharks will have to offer him a contract by then. So we'll kind of see what happens there. Evgeny Kashnikov. So he was a 2021 7th round pick, a very tall defenseman who played in the Q, and then he's been playing in the KHL the past 2 seasons. 23 games, no goals, no assists, 26 shots on goal. He has seen his ice time go up to about, I think it's right around 18, a little under 18 minutes a game. We'll see if he ever comes over. I would just assume he's probably just going to stay over in the KHL and carve himself out a nice career over there. So it would be my guess. Timofey Svitserov, 7th round pick in the 2020 draft from playing with the University of Vermont. He has 4 games. He's got 1 goal, 10 shots on goal. He, like Alex Young, who we're going to talk about here in a second, the Sharks have to kind of make a decision on both these guys by August 20, or sorry, Svitserov, they have till 2025, so he's got 1 more year of eligibility. Alex Young, who we'll talk about here in a minute, it's a little bit different, but he's not really produced much, and I don't see it from what I've seen from him in the past. I don't really see it with him. So, and then Alex Young, who transferred from Colgate to Arizona State, another 7th round pick from that 2020 draft class. 6 games, 3 goals and assists with 9 shots on goal. The Sharks do have until August 15th of 2024, so next summer, to decide if they want to sign him, or if it feels like he maybe not in their plans, we can maybe see where he gets his rights traded, just like Henry Thrun. But so we'll see with Alex Young. He has been a kind of a pretty good scorer in his college career, so I wouldn't be surprised if he signs and makes his I think it would be much like Thrun, where he'd probably have to go straight to the NHL. But that NHL team, that Sharks team, is going to look way different than what we see right now. So that is everybody who I think is chance to potentially come back and play for the Sharks at some point. But so overall, I think you got to feel good about how some of these guys are starting. Some of the guys like Will Smith, they're getting production, and they still are kind of figuring out a lot of the details of the game. So I think that's a good sign that they're still getting production. So once they kind of figure out the rest of those details, like, you could potentially see their production going up and up. And I think of all these college guys, right? It's such a hard start, that switch from either USHL or wherever you were playing before to have to go play NCAA, where the game is, you see 22, 23. It's a lot of times you're seeing AHL quality play over there, and they're kind of figuring their footing out. So any production you're getting this early in the season, I think it's a very good sign for a lot of these players. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow where we will cover the Sharks as they play the Canucks. Hopefully they get that first win or not, whatever. I mean, you guys know what this season is. So yeah, make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can subscribe on YouTube as well. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You can follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. And until tomorrow, bye, friends.